Let's get straight into our results service today. The year-end numbers for companies listed on the JSE, year-end December that is, still filtering through, and a company called Metair came out with its numbers today. And let's have a look at the headlines. Headline earnings per share up 19% for that period. EBITDA also up 19%. In the studio in Johannesburg is Theo Loock, who is the CEO of Metair. I must admit that we don't talk a lot about Metair, Theo, on this show, but when you speak to stockbrokers, they sort of talk about you in hushed tones because of the success of your market. Maybe very, very briefly, before we get into the semantics of these numbers, just tell us, for people that don't know exactly what your company does, what it does.
Yeah, I think to understand our company, we operate in the automotive sector, especially in two areas: original equipment, where the vehicles are manufactured, and the aftermarket, where the vehicles are sold. And then a third dimension to our business is our extensive battery operations. And I think that covers the three big areas of our business, and we try and balance the business between the aftermarket, the original equipment, and our battery business, where we say 350% must make up 100% of our business.
So you diversified a lot since you first started, because I know you're associated with Toyota and that was the main part of your business originally, but you've diversified now. How much is your business reliant on new vehicle sales? In other words, the NAMSA numbers that we report upon on Power Lunch every single month.
If you look at our market segmentation, about 58% of our business is where the vehicles are manufactured. So that's pretty much 50%, just over 50% of our business. 42% of our business is in the aftermarket. That's the annuity income that's generated once the vehicles are sold. And about 38% of our business, especially now with our acquisition of Rombat, the leading lead-acid battery manufacturer in Europe, 38% of our business is in batteries, close on to 2 billion. So with 5.3 billion turnover, 2 billion of our business is in the battery side of our business.
Come to the battery side of your business in a moment, but it's very interesting to hear what you say about not only the OE business, the original equipment manufacturing business, but also the aftermarket, because it's almost as though you've got the best of both worlds. I mean, for example, a company like Cashbuild, which sells bricks and mortar to people with cash, do they benefit from a booming housing market, or do they benefit from a market in house prices that are coming down because people then decide not to buy a new house and build it up by improving their own house? Is that the same with you? If the vehicle market, for example, is sluggish, do people hang on to their cars more, buy more parts, and therefore you do well as well, if you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's sort of anti-cyclical against each other, and it's a good offensive position that when the original equipment market is normally down, you normally experience an increased takeoff in your aftermarket maintenance type purchases. Yes, so it brings a nice balance to the business.
I spoke to that same stockbroker who talked about you in hushed tones, and he said that he's got a smart new car, and every time he gets to the robots and he stops, the battery turns off, and all he has to do is put his foot on the accelerator and it starts again. How big a development was this for you?
I think it's a big part of our future of our business. You know, it's a strategic development for us. We believe that from a technology point of view, we've probably been in that from a commercial point of view quite longer than any of our competitors, from the 1980s. It's a product that was developed in the mining industry in South Africa, where our mining cap lamps was especially built in a start-stop technology base. And that's now in the new environment where you need to reduce the carbon footprint of vehicles, especially in Europe, come up with a very increased demand for your vehicle to cut off, not to idle, and increasing your vehicle fuel utilization by 12 to 15%, and therefore drives the need for start-stop technology and the start-stop batteries in the vehicle. And that's essentially all that our investment in Romania is about, is to exit that market into Europe.
Okay, so the acquisition that you've made is in order to access that technology. What's the potential in the future? Can you expand it, or is it just a once-off acquisition?
No, I definitely think we want to increase our battery footprint. We quite aggressively will look this year at our battery technology and brands in Africa. You know, we own the chloride Exide brands, and that's very strong. We want to push that north down from South Africa, and then we're also pushing south through the Francophone countries, as France is our biggest aftermarket for Rombat, but they've got a traditional relationship with the old French colonies in Africa, and therefore pushing down from Romania south with our Rombat battery brand and pushing north with our Excite brand in South Africa, and hopefully we'll meet somewhere in the middle and make some peace.